Good day, Internet people.
Good day.
It is I, Phil, with my Great Nature Leopold Reverse deck profile. This is the deck I used at Team League 2014. By now you'll probably know we didn't actually do very well, but that's, beside the point. Here's the deck that I used for you to kind of have a look through and pick holes in and what have you. So, my starter was this little chap, Acorn Master. He's basically a grade 3 searcher, so you counterblast 1, put him in the soul, and search your top 5 for a grade 3. Quite useful for getting your Chat Noir, making sure you don't miss your ride chain, not ride chain, break ride. Didn't really work for me in the draft. I just got unlucky. There wasn't really anything, and I was just losing him in the soul. But, things happen. Trigger lineup for Castanet Donkey, useful draw trigger. Also, it has the ability that you can put it into the soul to give something plus 3k. So, it has a number of uses. You can use it as an easy boost. It's easy enough to knock an extra 4k onto it for an 8k boost. Also, when Leopold reverses out, easy lock target to give something else or 2 other units plus 4. And if you just want to make room on your field, and when it's down, pop them in the soul, give something plus 3k. You can't really go wrong with that. And of course, the draw ability if you actually get it off. Next up, I run 4 alarm chickens. Stands, I know a lot of people don't really like stands in Great Nature. It depends on your build, but I tend to always run a few stands, because if you're throwing all this extra power around, the chance to kind of use that powered up unit once more, it's a pretty nice circumstance when it happens. But I don't make it my main focus of the deck. That's just, if it happens, it happens. 4 heal triggers. The Dictionary Goat. Nothing to say about that. Just heal triggers. And I run 4 crit. That's the Holder Hedgehog. The only reason I choose this one is because I like the artwork, to be honest. But yeah, so it's basically rainbow triggers, 4 of each. So, it doesn't have any specialists or anything, but there you go. Onto the grade 1 lineup. I run 3 Tank Mouse. A useful little grade 1. I hadn't got any of these for a long time, and I actually had to order these online, because I just never pulled them in packs. It's a 6k grade 1, so it becomes a 10k booster very easily in Great Nature. And it has the ability, tap this unit, choose one of your Great Nature rear guards, that unit gets plus 4k till the end of turn. At the beginning of the end phase, retire that unit. So it's a pretty standard Great Nature skill. But again, if you've got Leopold out, you kind of have this guy on the back row. You tap it, plus 4k. You lock it, plus 4k, plus 4k, or plus 4, plus 4. You do that. If you have a back row of those guys, you can kind of go like, plus 4 to that, plus 4 to that, plus 4 to that. You got one unit on plus 12 already, and then you can go and then give plus 12, plus 12. So you got one unit sitting on plus 24, which could be pretty crazy. If they've got no perfect guards in hand, they're going to be sitting in it a bit. So yeah, there you go. There's 4 Cable Sheep, standard perfect guard. Whether you run 3 or 4, I guess, is up to you, but I think 4 is commonly accepted as standard. 3 Stamp Sea Otter. Again, it's a useful thing in Great Nature because you can easily give it a plus 4k boost and it doesn't retire. Teaming up with a Tank Mouse on the back row, then lock the Tank Mouse. You're giving this guy plus 8k and he's just sticking around, regardless of whether you're using Leopold at the time or not. So there you go, that's pretty useful. Can't go wrong with a Stamp Sea Otter. Then I run 3 pieces of this. The Coiling Duckbill. His rule, obviously, when you're placed, you choose another unit and it gets the ability that when it retires you draw a card. You team that up with, say, the Leopold ability, so obviously something gets plus 4 and retire. With this guy put down, when that thing retires, you then draw a card, and then if it's Leopold reverse on limit break, you then call that thing back, so you kind of one up in hand. And you can stack this. So you could kind of go that, and that. When that's retired, draw 3 cards. Team that up with Chat Noir, and maybe even Blackboard Parrot if you feel like it. You could be drawing a lot of cards very quickly. And against a lot of current decks, you really need that. Particularly if you go against Infinite Hell from the Nova Grappler deck. So, yeah, and I run one little tech choice, the Soft Tank Sloth. It's just a damage unflipper, unflips 2. I haven't really got a lot in Grade 1 lineup, obviously, that uses Counterblast, but you'll see why I kind of keep this guy around. Grade 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4. Binoculus Tiger, that's the one. 9k, when he attacks a Vanguard, give another unit plus 4k, and at the end of turn, retire that unit. Pretty essential, I guess. I mean, you know, you wouldn't run Great Nature without these guys, I don't think, unless you really didn't want anything going on. Next up, 3 Geograph Giant, 10k hitter. He's a card that goes all the way back to BTO2, I believe, yep. There you go, BTO2. Nice little bit of a retro card, but he's fairly standard. He's the only 10k choice that Great Nature have at the moment. I think most clans these days have at least 2, don't they? Well, 10k hitters these days. Most clans with the subtypes, they've got an extra 10k hitter.
Mainly, yeah.
But obviously Great Nature don't have a subtype yet.
Are you counting things like the 7k grade 1 things?
No, I'm just talking for basic 10k vanillas.
Just basic 10k vanillas.
Yeah. But when anything with a subtype generally has a 10k except Jewel Knights because Bushy Road are idiots. And yeah, here we go. There's 3 Lamp Camel. That's why I keep the Soft Tank Sloth around, because you pile this guy with power and maybe some duck bills, so it's drawing cards anyway. And with the extra power, the chances are if it hits, you know, you're going to draw 2. You're going to draw a card, Counterblast 2. If you've got a Sloth behind, you retire that thing, Soul Blast, and you've basically got the draw for nothing. You've not paid any cost on the Counterblast. You won't get it off very often, which is why I only run 1 of the Sloth. And next up, 1, 2, Compass Lion. Again, a great little ride. Really useful to ride this as your Grade 2 early on in the game, because it can shut down a lot of the Grade 1 10k hitters coming at you, or whatever else, you know, they throw at you. And it's easy to guard with as well. They can hit you for 12 or 13 or whatever. You only have to throw down your 5k shield, even against a 15k attack. So if you've got an 8 and a 7, you're just like, yeah, 5k. It's great. Obviously, he has got his little card effect, where at the end of the turn you have to choose a rearguard and retire it. But what I generally have at this point is I have him there. The starter's probably still at the back. I counterblast 1, put the starter in the soul anyway to search for a Grade 3. So if he's going to go anyway, you might as well use it as a Grade 3 searcher, which is kind of why I run that one. This guy somehow, even though I only run it at 2, often turns up in the opening hand quite often, which is pretty good. Failing that, he's pretty useful on the rear guard. You have a Stamp Seatter behind, and he doesn't retire anything. And you can even team it up with Coiling Duckbill again. You can kind of have that there, Duckbill, plus 2 when he retires. Retires himself, because he can do that. And there you go, so you can do that. Grade 3 lineup, I run 1, 2, 3, 4 Chat Noir, Honorary Professor Chat Noir. She's a nice little card. I always forget, but it is a she. Very cute. And she's got a fantastic little break ride ability. When a unit rides this unit, it gets plus 10k. And the following rule. When your Great Nature Rearguard attacks a Vanguard, choose one of your Great Nature Rearguards, and until the end of turn, the unit gets plus 4k, and at the end of that turn, draw a card and retire that unit. Now, one of the things this rule allows is you can target the unit that is actually attacking. So, say you've got a break ride and there's a rearguard there. That rearguard can attack and give itself the plus 4k and to draw a card. And obviously then, if you've got the ability, say on a Leopold Reverse, to kind of keep that on the field, you're drawing a card for nothing every time, and it's just gaining power, which, you know, is pretty sweet. And that does work on not duckbill, Stamp Sea Otter as well, because the retiring is not the cost, it's an effect as much as drawing the card is. So you can kind of stack that ability, you know, you could have a Stamp Sea Otter there, and you can say that attacks, +4 and draw a card, that attacks, +4 and draw a card. At the end of the turn, that doesn't retire, but you still draw your 2 cards. So that's pretty awesome. And finally, I run 3 Leopold Reverse. Mainly reason, you know, the deck's pretty tight for space, and I don't really want to run 4 of these because it's not like going to rewrite this one a lot. But anyway, he obviously has got the useful skill there. Activated Limit Break, lock one of your rear guards, and then choose up to 2 of your Great Nature rear guards. Until the end of turn, those units get +4k, and at the end of turn, retire this unit, and during the end phase, when it is retired, basically just call it to an open rear guard. So they get the +4k, they disappear and come back pretty much immediately. But the fact they retire means that abilities like Duckbill's ability do kick in. And yeah, that's pretty useful. And obviously, if you've got Leopold regular in the solid, it gets +2k, but I don't run the regular one. Yeah, so you got some nice combos with this deck, but you know them, and I've kind of explained them as I've gone along. So that's that.
Yeah, nice. Not when you're playing against it, but
yeah, I mean, it's a pretty powerful deck. I mean, what I find, if your opponent looks like they're running lower in hand size and they probably haven't got a perfect guard, you haven't seen one in a drive check or whatever, what you might do is you have that there, and if you've got a full field, you can give one column there and there a massive boost by going lock, 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 and then that's +12, +12, so that column's on +24. If you've got a column that's, say, a 7k booster behind a compass line, it's already hitting 18 +24, you know, I mean, you're hitting some numbers with this deck. It might not always work quite as consistently as you'd like, but when it does work, it can make your opponent poo themselves a little bit. Yeah. Exactly. That's the noise they make. And there you go, that's my deck profile. I hope you enjoyed watching this. You know, you don't see many Great Nature players out and about, I've noticed. So anyone else who plays Great Nature, you know, big props to you for that. And yeah, tell me what you think down below. What would you change? What would you know, suggest? I'm thinking I'll probably end up changing the starter probably to Blackboard Parrot, because that's like a duckbill again. But other than that, I'm quite happy with how it plays. It just needs a little bit more consistency. I can't quite work out how to get that to happen. Any suggestions, just post below. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!